Hi, it's Monique Blessed. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is May 11th, 2020. Um, I'm going to base this video on a conversation that I had with a friend who is also in her 50s. Um, the mentality that I've been speaking of, oh boy, oh boy. It certainly was passed down to us. Anyway, this friend tried to tell me that black men have difficulty being men because black women, it's how their mothers raised them. And I said to her, you totally left out the fathers. Um, Black men need black men to teach them how to be black men. So instead, they more metamorphosize into something else. And so she said to me, well, we talked about black men with resources, with money. And I said to her, well, they tend to grab racially ambiguous women, um, women who don't look like phenotypically black women, and they marry these women or get into long-term relationships anyway. In the end, the woman gets all of their money. And she said to me, she said, well, isn't that what you're doing? And I said, well, it's different for me because there's a surplus of black women. They can find black women, but there's not enough decent black men to go around. I would have difficulty finding a black man. Plus, I am attracted to white men. I've always been attracted to white men in particular, but because I was raised at a different time, it wasn't always acceptable. So you know, back in the day, we had to choose someone that was deemed quote unquote more appropriate. And you know, I said to her, we're living in times where basically you date who you want to date, period. All of those social conditions have been lifted off of us for the most part. So I was trying to explain to her why it's different for me. Um, you know, it's not necessarily about resources for me. It's just finding someone that I am compatible with, and that I'm attracted to, and basically we have fun together. Um, yes, resources are important, but I'm not dating looking specifically for resources. I'm looking more so for someone that's willing to invest their heart. And that's a functional person, of course. Um, but she tried to tell me it was the same thing. And I'm saying to her, no, it is not. Black men can find a black woman. There's a surplus of black women. But they see white women as a status symbol, which is why I do not allow black men to have the excuse for racism to be non-functional or dysfunctional when they're with black women. Um, because as soon as they get resources, they do grab the woman or anything in her likeness, of the mothers of the men that they claim oppress them so much. Um, so I'm trying to explain this to her, but I realized something with black women. Those of us that are in a relationship with black men, many of us, many black women, I can't say us because I'm not in that situation, but many black women are in a man sharing relationship with black men. Some of these men have wives, some of these men are in long-term relationships and they have a couple of other women on the side. And so these women are sleeping with black men on a regular. And being that I believe most women are emotional for the most part, they can't see what's right in front of their faces. And I do think because of that, a lot of them pass that mentality down to their daughters. And I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I hope this video comes out okay. They can't see what is before them. Many of them don't even see the fact that they're in a man-sharing relationship because that man has said whatever he said, used the magic of words to make them think that this situation is okay. It's what they call a situationship. And they certainly, I don't know, I know that when you are an older black woman and you're interracially dating for the first time, it can have its challenges. And maybe I'll do another video on that. But many, I think, black women who are with black men choose, I'm going to call it familiarity and maybe to a certain extent comfort because it's familiar, even though the relationship, I think, is as dysfunctional can be. But you can be dysfunctional in a familiar situation. Very often those two go together. So again, I apologize to younger black women that this mentality was passed down. But like I said, very often black mothers can only give what they have to give. Very few of us can offer what we don't have. If you don't have self-esteem, you can't build your daughter up to have self-esteem. And I'm not saying choosing a man of another race is having self-esteem. What I am saying is choosing the best life possible for yourself is an indication of your self-esteem. And I'll stop there. Would like to know your thoughts and comments. Okay, Monique Bless signing off. Bye now.